I'm sure that many of the NLSAT 2024 aspirants have been waiting for guidance on this examination, although I've uploaded a lot of videos on NLSAT. You can check the playlist. However, today what I have for you is we directly have one of our students who secured 97.75 marks in the NLSAT examination. She's going to join NLS Bangalore very soon. And we have her here today to talk about her strategy. We will learn a lot of things from her. Let's start with this video. Hi guys, I'm Ayushi, your mentor for law-based examinations, and welcome to Law Digest. Let's welcome Veena on the channel, understand her journey. The very fact that she secured a 99.1 percentile in Part B makes me very excited to bring her here for you guys so that you can get an insight into her preparation. Let's start. Hi Veena, welcome to the channel. We are so delighted to have you here and understand from you your strategy for the NLSAT examination. There is, I see that the guidance on this examination is quite less as compared to other examinations because it is a fairly new one. But let's talk about your journey. First of all, I think we would like to understand from you your background and just tell us something about yourself.
Good evening, Ayushi. First of all, it's great connecting with you in person after from the when I subscribed to the modules and to the mocks. We had our conversation over calls and mails, so good to see you at least in live. So talking about my introduction, I'm CA Veena Reddy from Bangalore. I'm a born and brought up Bangalorean. So my schooling and college were all here. So 11th and 12th, I pursued my commerce stream and I was state first ranker to the state of Karnataka. I had an ambition of becoming an advocate since then, and I'd also given my CLAT and I was an NUJ select. But due to some various reasons, I had pursued CA, and I'm also a company secretary and an all India ranker in that. So currently, I'm a working professional into indirect taxes and in the consulting. So this is about me.
All right. So next thing, Veena, why did you choose law to be, the right career option for you?
So being a CA and working in the taxation field, especially for the litigation and consulting, I felt LLB would be an added advantage. If I have an LLB degree, I can go get into the court practice as well, and that would be the core strength or the core strength of the law for me to pursue, and that was my personal interest in. So I took up this option.
All right. The next thing, I think the main part of this interview, which every aspirant must be waiting for, is what was your preparation strategy exactly for this examination? Both Part A and Part B we're going to talk about.
Yes. So ours was the second batch of NLSAT, and as such, there were not a lot of material that was available in the market. I had subscribed for Law Digest module for both Part A and Part B, as well as for the mocks. So if I have to talk about section wise, so Part A we have like 75 questions, wherein we have English, critical reasoning, and GK. So for English, it was all reading comprehension basis, and critical reasoning was again related to the passage itself. So it entailed a lot of practice. So whatever passages I could get to do from the module was quite helpful, and I'd also refer to a CLAT material, I think Universal Guide to CLAT. To solve more of RC questions. I'd also solved like CLAT paper questions just to get used to, understanding the comprehension passages and also the questions and the speed within which you can time. So English, I think we did have some grammar questions, synonyms, antonyms, but I think in the exam, we didn't get such kind of direct questions this time. The passages were more abstract this time. Although it was told that there would be current affair passages, but to our surprise, it was quite different from what we'd expected. But okay, the passages were not so lengthy, they were manageable, and the questions were not so tricky comparatively, is what I felt. At least the options were fine.
Yeah.
And if you have to talk about these critical reasoning questions, that is strengthen, weaken, and what you infer from the author, summarize, main point. This, I would say, it would come with a lot of practice, exposing yourself to more RCs and getting used to it. Newspaper also helps. So I had been reading newspapers, especially the editorial columns. Just it's not that you would get there's no possibility that you get the same RC in your exam. It's about how
Exactly.
you train your mind to understand different passages, comprehend it, and connect it to the questions. So that was the thing. And I think you had also shared a strategy for RC wherein so first I used to have a quick glance of the questions, then I used to go to the RCs, and each and every
Yeah.
paragraph I used to mark out important things as to what that passage is telling, so that I
Yeah.
have a fair idea when I'm answering the questions. You cannot be like each question you're going back to the RC and reading again,
Correct.
because that will consume a lot of time. So I think each RC I had timed around 8 minutes to 9 minutes was my target of completing the RC. So once I marked out the questions and I had a fair idea, the questions were decent to solve. GK, so GK is of course very vast, or the current affairs based thing. So I had referred to Law Digest module for GK. We had both legal current affairs as well as the normal current affairs, and also the YouTube videos, which gave a summary of the whole of the month current affairs. So I'd refer to it. And I did get, I think, at least 50-60% of the questions from whatever GCs, whatever GK questions that were available. And apart from that, I was also in the habit of reading newspaper, so that also helps for your GK preparation. And some of the UPSC magazines I referred. Specifically, I referred for essays, but my GK was also getting covered as a part of it, because they had told that essay was current affairs based essay. So it was like I'm preparing for essay also and preparing for GK also when I'm reading those magazines. Coming to part B, like there was not much of a material that was available for part B. In the module, like I got the opportunity to have 85 questions, 85 case studies, and also the mocks, which helped. And even for the case studies and the mock answers, you had given both for and against side, so that we know how to evaluate. So the approach was that, so first we have to read and understand the relevant facts from the question, and then you have to choose a side. And do not become emotional when you're choosing a side. Choose a side in which you feel that you can have at least 5 to 7 logical arguments that you can present. So once you have picked a side, so try to argue for your side and defend your side, and support your side. At the same time, you're also countering why the other side is weaker in comparison to yours. So there's nothing like this is a right answer, this is a wrong answer. It is all about how what side you pick and how well you're able to reason it to reach to a conclusion. So once you get used to that hack of answering the questions, I think it would be very easy in the exam. Like I personally scored like 54 was my part B score with a 99 percentile. So largely my practice was all based on the module questions and the mocks. Specifically, mocks were also getting evaluated in my part B as to get comments for each of the question as to where I lacked. So it helped me streamline my preparations. Even your support was quite helpful, because it could be even smaller aspects like structuring or English or spelling mistakes. Also, you used to tell that to concentrate on these so that you can improve. So that was pretty much helpful for me. And talking about essay, initially they wrote current affairs essay, then they said an analytical ability essay, and I think finally in the paper it was a mix. I think we got like child marriage, intellectual property rights, and one on artificial intelligence. These were pretty much like burning topics itself, which were there. And the passage which I picked up, which was on child marriage, I think I got it in one of the mocks, which I took from Law Digest. So that helped me. That saved my time in the exam.
Yeah. All right. I also remember speaking to you on the emails, and I had certain students categorized in my mind based on the answers, and you were one of them. I always thought that you have the potential and you might just clear the examination. And thankfully, you followed all the advice, and I guess you worked really hard for the examination, considering the time that you had. Uh, I think the last 2 months you started your preparation, and
Yes.
it is good enough to see that you're scoring 99 percentile in part B. It makes me really happy to look at this score. And considering all of this, the final next question would be that how do you think that mocks helped you, and how helpful actually mocks are, that students, aspirants who are watching this video, how seriously they should take mocks?
So if you talk about any exam for that matter, mocks are really important because it gives you that pre-examination atmosphere exam for you to sit for 2.5 hours and evaluate yourself. So I had subscribed for all the mocks of Law Digest, and I also took some mocks from other institutes as well. I think I wrote about 10 mocks. The advantage is that you know how much time you're taking for each question, especially for part A. Are you able to finish the same within 75 minutes? So that you need 75 minutes at least for your part B, given the fact that there are 6 questions of 60 minutes and essay has to keep 15 minutes. So 75 minutes block, I cannot compromise on part B. And in on part A, initially I used to take like 95 minutes in my mocks, which used to compromise on my part B scores. But later I tried to pick up the speed and try to reduce the time for each RC. So mocks will help you plan that. And also because part B is written, and I don't think most of us are in writing practice, most of us do typing these days. So it's important that you sit in a place, you sit for the 2.5 hours and you're able to write your answers. And we used to write the answers and like send PDFs to you for getting corrected. So you also get the writing practice from the mocks. And apart from that, you also get to know the GK questions, the type of essays they're asking. And for RCs, it's a very good practice to do mocks. So I would suggest that at least it's important that you give 2 to 3 mocks at least, so that you know where you stand and what you lack, and you can proceed with it. And one more thing, don't get negative or feel low if your mock scores are not so good enough. It's not that you score well in the mocks only then you score well in the exam. Each mock is evaluating how much you know. You just try to improve that in the next mock. Okay, this section I got low, this is where I'm lacking, so this is an area of improvement, let me improve in this mock. So if you follow this approach, I think you will definitely like get good scores in your exam. So do give mocks.
So were you scoring consistently in the mocks, or was there
I think the first and second mock which I took here, first mock was decent enough. I think I don't remember my score exactly, but I think on the leaderboard I was like 10th or 11th. Second and third mock I was almost the first. Then fourth mock I went down, fourth and fifth. So it was not that I was consistently in the first rank itself, but okay, I was not at least I was pushing myself and I was trying to evaluate where am I lacking so that I improve. I remember I think on the fourth mock or something where all my part B answers, like you had given 5 out of 10 for all the answers. Initially I used to get like 7, 8 out of 10 for the answers, and I remember mailing you saying what is happening or where do I lack, because it was just like 7 days before the exam then. And then you had told me that where all I lack and how I have to structure the answer, how I have to present the arguments, how to quote the relevant facts and all that. So all this helped in the exam as well.
All right, I'm so glad. What is that one final tip that you would want to give to the aspirants who are looking forward to apply for NLSAT 2024?
So this exam is a lot about practice. There is nothing that you have to remember or cram except for GK. GK, I suggest that it's good you have a continuous newspaper reading habit so that you know at least the things that are happening. But as regards part A English and critical reasoning questions, and for your legal aptitude questions, I think 2 months time is a decent preparation, provided you sit dedicatedly and practice different varieties of questions. This is not a skill that you can just develop and go. So it is important you expose yourself to different passages, you have adequate practice, and you go to the exam. So that is sufficient. Don't get scared saying that I had to start from 3 months or 4 months and study. 2 months of decent preparation will do.
Okay, Veena, I'm so glad looking, at your preparation, listening to you, how you have consistently tried to upgrade yourself. You've tried to be fair towards yourself. Check out what are the mistakes that you made. You try to work on those. And I'm also very glad that how minutely you have looked at the module and different aspects of it, and you've tried to incorporate that in your preparation, and you've tried to make the most of out of it, I think. Which is reflected in your Part B percentile. And I'm wishing you all the very best for your future journey. And I hope to see you at the bar or the bench, wherever you want to be. Wish you all the very best for the future. And thank you for taking out time for the aspirants and speaking to them regarding your strategy.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for this opportunity of being here to address the aspirants and help them in whatever possible way. And also thank you for your modules and the mocks and all the suggestions which helped me in my exam performance. Thank you.
I'm so glad. Good luck.
Thank you.